Hi, I'm Alex Hicken. I'm back with a second World News report since I've rebooted my publications. Today is the Tuesday, the 18th of February, and I want to express my gratitude for all those people that have confidence in me developing a publication. I have many blogs, and I think that I need to start with what I have before making a more professional branded website. I'm so grateful for Alex Meldrum because he had so much confidence in me that he already contributed to my Patreon. Um, if you have confidence in my ability to develop a serviceable pan publication, please go to Patreon, sign up, and look me up with Alex Hicken. Patreon is a platform where you could support creators directly. It's a typically a monthly pledge. You could pledge as little as $5, and that will help me. Um, um, if you're watching this or listening, um, you're part of the foundation of my publication, and you could become a founding member by joining me there at Patreon. My publication is not about me, it's about serving each other. My little brother is part of this publication, and he worked this weekend 5 hours writing one article, and I was so impressed by the professionalism that he's practiced. And when I published it on Vivaldi's network, Vivaldi's a browser, and it has a network for bloggers, and his article was featured on the homepage of the website. And one goal of the publication is that you want to let Trevor engage in his professional skills and develop a career within my publication. If you read his article, you'll see that the blog is called Very, and it's inspired by our podcast called Very Hicken Bros. And Very is spelled with two R's because very.com is taken, and I hope to purchase the very.com domain name. And yeah, I love berries, and I look forward to brand it into a way that will be recognizable. The podcast for this world news report is called Read the Story of the World, and it is now on 5 platforms. We're on RadioPublic, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. I will provide a link to the Anchor page where you could find all the links to the other platforms in the show notes for those who use those services, podcast services. Now on to the World News Report. I'm going to start today in Africa because yesterday I saw a tweet commemorating the 9 years since the Libyan civil war. About 10 years ago, the Arab Spring was happening. It began. And during this Arab Spring, most Arab nations were rising up to seeking their freedoms. Libya was able to remove Colonel Muammar Gaddafi from his leadership, but 9 years later, um, after Syria and Libya are still in turmoil, as the civil war of Syria has never ended yet, has not ended yet. An interesting coincidence happened that I noticed with the European Union. They recently agreed to begin a naval and air mission for the UN to reduce the violence and destruction between factions and armies by restraining the weapons trade in Libya. And the coincidence is that I saw that yesterday or today, Turkey was sending some weapons by boat to the port of Tripoli. And they were sending the weapons to the government of National Accord. They are the second most prominent entity seeking control in Libya after just the government. And the Libyan National Army actually destroyed the ships delivering the weapons. And it seems like the Libyan army is also seeking to reduce the trade to the country. One rebel group called the Allied Democratic Forces has remained in the Democratic Republic of Congo for more than 20 years, wreaking havoc, and the militia attacked a village in Beni called Manzo Halo, burning down 10 homes and killing 10 people. The group has been slowly being dismantled as the Congolese army has killed 5 of the 6 senior leadership, and they have detained 40 ADF members just last Wednesday. Boko Haram has caused so much trouble in Nigeria that thousands have fled to Nigeria. Refugees in a camp that missed Sunday's food and shipment from the distribution center were such in a frenzy that they were not going to miss food on Monday's delivery, and there was a stampede. This stampede killed 20 people, with about, I think about 5 children died. Another thing in Nigeria that happened is a disagreement yesterday between herdsmen and a village was a cause for massacre for a herdsman. In the village called Tisawa. It's in northern Nigeria. 30 were killed. I'm going to be following up on a bunch of things over the weekend in the news. This weekend, the South Sudan President Kerr was hoping to bring more peace and establish the nation better by reverting back to 10 states rather than 32 and establishing 3 administrative areas. However, the rebel leader Rick Machar rejected his proposal, and the stalemate of leadership is still going on. It's been this way for like 6 years. Moving to the Middle East, the Assad's Syria war effort has claimed their advance in the northwest mostly complete as another 100,000 people flee in the cold. Last time I reported, 800,000 people fled the northwest, and now it's over 100,000. A car bombing backed by Syria was carried out by a Kurdish militia in Turkey. They're trying to further their cause still to become a nation. Another thing that I want to follow up from last week's report is that there was a battle between the planes. The Yemen revolutionaries shot down a Saudi fighter jet, and the Saudis attacked with some airstrikes in Yemen. And the UN was able to talk with them as a result, and they were able to negotiate something that will help bring more peace among the two countries. They decided to exchange and give each other's prisoners back to each other, and 1,400 people were restored to their lands, the nations. A militia in Iraq, who is backed by Iran, shot rockets at U.S. military base, injuring 11 United States soldiers. Afghanistan has come to a conclusion on their presidential election, which was held 4 months ago. President Ashraf Ghani won his second 6-year term as president. His background is actually impressive. He got a doctorate degree at Columbia University, and he served as advisors to Afghanistan's UN Secretary General, the President Hamid Karzai, and at a senior level at the World Bank. And his role since the fall of the Taliban government has been important and played an important role in the good growth that it has seen. South Korea is going to have an election in April, and some leaders within the North Korean refugee and defectors community are seeking a greater representation in the South Korean government. The community is neglected. A most poignant situation that brings the neglect to light is the starvation of a family of 3 who were denied government support and they were left to die in their apartment. The leaders started a political party today, or yesterday, called South-North Unification Party. Furthermore, they want to bring to light the evils of the North Korean government, as some policies and ties between the South and the North Korean nations need to be more moderate than friendly. There were some leaks in the Chinese government of the treatment of the Uyghur Muslim people. The documents show that the Chinese government has established re-education camps for the people. There's documentation saying that their beards are too long and they're having too many children. The persecution against the Uyghur population has been going on for years, and in the past 6 years, 2 million people have been held in internment camps. The atrocities against the people were named as torture, medical experiments, and gang rape. I wanted to mention yesterday in my report, but covering the days and a half, so news made me report it and publish it too late for recording. I wanted to speak about how the integrity of men needs to be greater when it comes to the treatment of women. Abominable sexual acts of violence were covered extensively throughout the world. The media is pleading for men to be more considerate of women. In Mexico, over the weekend, a 7-year-old girl was killed in a rise of femicide in Mexico City after going missing after school. No one has been identified as who captured her, and no one knows what happened to her, other than she was found dead in a bag. This trend of femicide was brought to attention only late last week with the murder of 25-year-old Ingrid S. Kamala. In Thailand, another shooting happened only one day after the military transferred security back over to the city of Bangkok, when the 10 days prior, a soldier went on a rogue mass shooting in a mall. This shooting was also in a mall, and it was not tied with the previous incident. The shooter killed a woman as a result of jealousy. I want to encourage greater respect of women today. Start in your home. The link to my official report is in the show notes. It'll have all the citations and even more information in the report. Thank you for listening. Talk to you tomorrow.